Just to bring it in context, what I would like to do is just talk briefly about purpose, because later in the year we'll go at more length into understanding purpose and where it fits in. But purpose is a very important element when you do coaching. It's one of those fundamental elements that we work with, whether it be personal purpose for an individual, corporate purpose like in a strategy or a vision statement of a company, even for families. If they can use the time or set time aside just to develop for themselves, identify and define their purpose as a family, I think it's very valuable. I just want to give you my framework where I put purpose, where it fits in my framework. You know by now, and I know if I were to ask any one of you, you would off the cuff, just give me my definition of coaching. But I'm not going to do that now. Let me give you the definition, my definition of coaching, to prevent any awkward scenarios. Coaching is a mutually chosen helping relationship between a coach and a client, where the process of becoming is facilitated through meaningful conversations and people development tools. The process of becoming earlier this year, I told you, is very much tied in for me with identity. So this part that we're going to do today, and this what we talk about here today, has got to do with the process of becoming, and specifically identity, discovering identity, defining identity, understanding your identity as an individual. Obviously, as I say, it can apply same to a couple, their identity as individuals and together. It could be a team, their identity as a team, and also the identities of the individuals in the team, or on a level of corporate as well. Irrespective of where you enter, identity should be known. Now, my definition of identity, or the main elements of identity, there are three primary elements. There is a fourth one, but I don't really theoretically currently know how to deal with it. I'll mention it, but I can't talk much about it yet. But if you take identity and you were to break it up in my understanding of what does it consist of? Firstly, I believe identity consists of purpose. Secondly, I think identity consists of potential. Then the third element, I think what helps us to understand identity, I call paradigmatic, paradigmatis. Paradigm with atic behind it without a double T. Paradigmatic. Then the fourth element is passion. By now, if you are a little bit poetically inclined, you would have picked up the P's. Purpose, potential, paradigmatic, passion. Those four are the major elements, I think. If one can understand those major elements, let's talk about an individual, a client, or yourself. If you can understand your purpose, if you know your potential, if you know how you think, because that's what I mean by paradigmatic, and you are passionate about things, and you know what you're passionate about, you will clearly come to understand your identity as a person. Remember, the pursuit in coaching is to help clients in their process of becoming, which translates into them understanding their identities, which translates further down on a practical level, discovering their purpose, understanding their potential, know how to think about it, and be passionate about it. I'm giving you the broad picture. Now, to understand purpose, you try to answer this question, why am I here? Or what is my purpose? Or why did God let me be born? What must I do with this life? given to me by grace? Or what is my purpose? Purpose can ultimately be described in what's commonly known as a personal purpose statement or a personal vision statement. Some people call it a personal mission statement. I see all three of those things as the same. It is defining my purpose or defining purpose. If you can answer the question, why am I here? And you can write a couple of sentences about that are really pregnant with content and substance, and that really describes why you are here. I would say you're getting a hang of, or getting hold of, your purpose, which I say is a very fundamental part of your identity. I prefer through me, but the essential thing is, what is this life about? What is this life given to me about? What is it meant to do? But I don't want to use the word to do, because that pertains to more the doing and the potential that we will talk about eventually. But I don't want to go into potential right now. Neither do I really want to go into the paradigmatic part of your identity or the passion. I just, for today, want to focus on the purpose side. So why am I here? What is my purpose? What is my destiny? Are typically answers that, questions that we want answers on. If you do not find an answer that is satisfying to you about those questions, then I believe you live less fulfilled. If you're, let's say, 70 years old and someone asks you, why were you born? And the person says, no, I never discovered that. Then I would cry. Or I would think, I don't know if you missed things in life. I would guess you did. If on a corporate level, let me just move in from that side, and how I understand that. If one were to think about Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, I don't know if you're familiar with the first one. Begin with the end in mind. So how does one begin with the end in mind? You need to define the end as clearly as possible. You do not know the end. You do not know where it should be going. But even though you don't have the clear picture or the complete answer, if where you are now you can get as close to as a good answer to where the end should be, where your life should head towards, what the direction of your life should be, and you can get a clear definition of that, a clear description of that, then you can start to move into that direction. Then you can start to live that, which ultimately would be your purpose, living your purpose. Some of you might have been exposed, I'll be with you now, some of you might have been exposed to, I think it's Rick Warren's Purpose-Driven Life. Okay. If you've got that frame of reference, that's a good one. To understand that you can live a life that's driven by purpose more than just a life that drifts on an ocean and are swayed by every wind and every wave that comes its way.